A discovery unlike anything before has shaken the foundation of modern astronomy. When the James Webb Space Telescope turned its immense mirrors toward a remote corner of the cosmos, scientists expected to find more of the familiar, distant galaxies, exoplanets glowing faintly, or the warped trails of light bent by gravity. Instead, what they saw was something so alien, so incomprehensible, that even the most seasoned researchers were left in stunned silence. At first glance, the data looked like the signature of a dense galaxy cluster, a gravitational giant bending light into arcs and streaks. But as Webb's infrared filters cut deeper into the observation, the center of the cluster revealed an anomaly unlike anything ever catalogued. It wasn't a star, or a black hole, or even an absence of stars. It was a void, absolute and perfect. Not dark matter, not dust, but a place where light, energy, and even space itself seemed to refuse to exist. Unlike a black hole, which bends and consumes, this void appeared to repel reality itself. Light did not fall inward, instead, it bent sharply away from the boundary, as if space-time itself wanted no part of it. This discovery defied every rule. Black holes scatter and distort radiation, even as they consume. This object reflected nothing, emitted nothing, and produced no gravitational lensing of its own. The region acted like a wound in the universe, a scar where the fabric of existence had been ripped open. The laws of physics that applied everywhere else suddenly failed. It was not just invisible, it was anti-existence. Supercomputers across the globe were put to work in the following days, simulating possibilities. Could it be a collapsed structure from the dawn of the universe, a relic from a time when physics operated differently? Could it be a dimensional rupture, a breach in the cosmic web itself? None of the models matched what Webb had captured. The only scenario that even came close was one that had been considered purely hypothetical, a naked singularity, exposed and uncontained, interacting directly with the cosmos. For decades, this had been dismissed as impossible, unstable, the product of flawed equations. Yet now, here it was, glaring back through the telescope. Even more unsettling was what appeared just beyond the void. When image processors pushed the data further, faint lines and arcs of light began to emerge in patterns too symmetrical to be natural. Curves intersected at perfect angles, glowing nodes formed lattice-like connections, and the arrangement hinted at deliberate geometry. It wasn't enough to prove intelligent design, but it was far too precise to dismiss as mere chance. Stranger still, the formation only appeared within a very narrow band of the infrared spectrum, the exact range Webb was uniquely designed to observe. It was as if something had been waiting to be seen, or worse, designed itself to be revealed only when the right eye was watching. Inside observatories and research institutions, debates grew heated. Was this a coincidence? A trick of cosmic alignment? Or had humanity stumbled upon evidence of something far beyond comprehension? The possibility that the act of observing could itself be the trigger sent ripples of unease through the scientific community. If this void and its patterns had been invisible until now, had Webb uncovered them by accident? Or had the telescope's gaze been part of the plan all along? The scale of the phenomenon only deepened the terror. Early calculations suggested the void spanned hundreds of thousands of light-years, large enough to swallow entire galaxies. Yet it pulled on nothing. It consumed nothing. Instead, stars and gas clouds drifting too close seemed to unravel, fading into stretched fragments before vanishing silently. No flashes, no radiation, no trace. It was as if their existence had simply been erased. Background radiation surveys began to show hints that this wasn't an isolated event. Subtle cold spots, previously dismissed as statistical noise, were being re-examined. Patterns emerged, symmetries, echoes, faint traces that suggested other voids might already exist, hidden just beyond the reach of older instruments. Webb had merely revealed the first clear one. The implications are staggering. This was not just a new celestial body. It was something that mocked the very structure of reality, something that did not follow the rules of matter, energy, or spacetime. The universe had always been thought of as a vast machine governed by consistent laws. Now, it looked more like a stage, one where forces beyond human comprehension might still be at play. And perhaps most unnerving of all, the geometry lingering at the void's edge seemed to suggest intent. Whether natural or not, whether ancient or new, the universe had sent a message through Webb's lens. It was not simply a reminder of how small humanity is in the grand scale of existence. It was a warning that the cosmos may not be as indifferent as once believed. When the James Webb Space Telescope fixed its golden mirrors on a distant region of the cosmos, scientists anticipated a breathtaking glimpse of the early universe. What they received instead was an image so unsettling, so utterly alien, that it shook the very foundations of physics, philosophy, and even human imagination. At first, the observation looked like any other deep field capture, faint galaxies arcing into distorted streaks, their light bent by the immense gravity of unseen structures. But at the center of this grand display lay something unprecedented. A void. Not empty space, not dark matter, not a black hole, something far stranger. It was an absence, a region where light, energy, and even the scaffolding of reality itself seemed to unravel. Unlike black holes, which twist and consume, this anomaly rejected existence. Light didn't fall inward, it bent sharply away, as though spacetime itself recoiled from contact. Scientists quickly realized that this was not destruction as normally understood. What Webb had captured suggested something deeper, the annihilation not just of matter, but of information itself. This posed a terrifying paradox. If information could be truly lost, irretrievably erased, then the very foundation of quantum theory, the principle that information can never be destroyed, would collapse. It wasn't just an astronomical discovery. It was a direct assault on the rules that governed physics. Mathematicians were among the first to dissect the void's strange geometry. Its structure echoed properties of non-Euclidean space, as though the region obeyed rules from a different branch of reality. To some, it resembled a wormhole, but one with no exits, terminal on all sides. Philosophers argued it might represent entropy incarnate, a local manifestation of the universe's eventual heat death, crystallized into the present moment. Theologians entered the discussion not to claim divinity but to confront the possibility that there were forces embedded within the universe not just outside of time, but consuming it from within. The image was not merely studied, it was treated like an artifact, as if it had been retrieved from a realm beyond existence itself. Analysts pored over every pixel, searching for meaning, and what they found unsettled them further. A faint lattice of arcs and glowing nodes seemed to form a symmetry around the void. Too precise to dismiss as random, too fleeting to confirm as designed. Some argued it was a natural artifact of light bending, but others whispered a darker thought. Perhaps it had been meant to be seen. What made the phenomenon even more disturbing was its singularity. When other observatories turned their instruments toward the same coordinates, they saw only the void. The symmetry, the delicate arrangement of light, never reappeared. It was as though the Webb telescope, with its unique sensitivity, had been given a one-time glimpse. Some researchers theorized that the image itself had been a quantum event, collapsing once observed and never to be repeated. Others suggested it was a message, not in words or symbols, but in structure, intended only for the first eye that looked upon it. Then came the most chilling revelation of all. The light that carried this image had traveled nearly 13 billion years to reach Earth. The rupture, whatever it was, had formed near the dawn of time itself. And yet its presence remained, unchanged, undiminished. Stable. eternal. It was not a passing anomaly, but a permanent wound in the cosmos, older than galaxies, older than stars, older than light itself. To look at it was to peer into a place where existence had failed. The implications rippled outward. If such voids existed, were there others? Cold spots in cosmic background radiation, once dismissed as statistical noise, were now being re-examined under new suspicion. What if this was not an isolated scar, but part of a hidden network of ruptures, scattered across the universe? If so, had humanity just stumbled upon the first clear sign that reality itself could unravel? The debates raged, but beneath the arguments was a shared undercurrent of dread. This discovery did not inspire wonder. It inspired unease. It felt wrong, not in the sense of faulty data, but in the way something familiar becomes grotesque when just slightly misaligned. Like a smile held too long, or a melody played one note off. The void carried that same uncanny dissonance, a sense that the universe itself was showing a face it was never meant to reveal. And now, the image exists, captured, processed, and seared into human consciousness. A silent place where even the laws of reality fail, staring back at us through the mirror of a telescope. A reminder that the cosmos is not simply vast and beautiful, but also dark, indifferent, and capable of producing things that defy comprehension. The Webb telescope was built to uncover the origins of light, but in doing so, it may have revealed the first true glimpse of darkness. Not the absence of illumination, but the absence of being itself. Some discoveries invite exploration. This one feels more like a warning.